Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Doors That We've Opened. I'm Blake McKay. This is the amazing, the beautiful, the talented Bethany McKay, my lovely bride. Sweetheart, if people wanted to see more of you and get to know you better, where would they find you?
On Instagram at Nashville Top Realtor.
At Nashville Top Realtor on IG. We also have a really cool show coming out. Hope you watch. It's called Nashville Next Door. We're going to be doing it through the American Dream TV network. It's going to be hosted across a bunch of different streaming platforms. Make sure you check it out on the Travel Channel, HGTV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, and YouTube, coming out August 15th. Mm-hmm. And of course, we could not do this right now, sit in these chairs, have these mics, have the cameras rolling in this beautiful studio near Nashville, Tennessee, without the amazing Mitch. Mitch, where can people find you?
You can find us at City Limits Studios on all social media, and our social media company is Clutch Socials.
Awesome, buddy. Thank you so much for doing this. Mitch does an incredible job. We have been so happy with how everything has turned out.
Yep.
Between podcast help, social media help, videography, filmography, because he does music videos. If you have any kind of media presence at all, we highly recommend Mitch and his team here. And so thank you very much, sir. So today we wanted to talk about the door to financial freedom. We've talked about how this continual illustration of opening and closing doors has led us to some incredible adventures, a little bit of heartbreak, but ultimately some really cool stories that we hope are going to encourage you. You're going to be able to learn something from us and get some inspiration for the next door that you're supposed to go through. So
Amen.
With that, we're talking about the keys to investing in real estate particularly, and what that has done for us. A little bit of backstory. Our niche is to help real estate investors.
Yep.
We look at a property, when someone comes to us, they say, I want to make money, not have the home of my dreams, which we're happy to help you find, by the way.
Too, but
if you're a first-time home buyer, or you have an incredible property that you want to buy or sell, just consider us for all of those things.
we do all things real estate, but we love the investor side.
Very much so. Yeah. And the cool thing is, a lot of people want to make money because it's a proven way to do it. It's one of the
oldest, truest wealth building instruments.
The saying is true: buy dirt, because they're not making any more of it.
Yeah.
It increases in value, the utility of it. And I think that for today's episode, I'm going to try to interview you on how we got to the point of where we are now, talking about financial freedom through real estate investment. So I know that when you first started as an agent, you very quickly got associated with real estate investment trusts, hedge funds, mom and pop investors that wanted to purchase real estate for the purposes of buy and hold, long-term rentals. Yeah. So did you recognize the power of wealth building through real estate at that point, or was it before?
So I did not grasp the weight of how powerful real estate investing can be from the beginning, because I was so transactional minded, and that's how we're trained as real estate agents. Get to the next closing, get to the closing table, make a commission, go to the next house. So I was so wrapped up in transactions that I wasn't at first realizing that what I was doing for everybody else, I could do for ourselves. And so we'll get to that moment of that light bulb moment, but going into real estate at first, this was not what I thought how it would go. I sold $200,000 listings to $2 million listings. Like I've done it all. I've seen it all. Well, we can't say that in real estate because you never freaking know what's going to happen.
Never seen that before.
I've never seen that before. And anybody that says, well, I've been doing this 30 years and I've never. Well, just because you've never doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Anyways, that's a tangent. But what I did see, what I did grasp early on is that I knew that I could work harder than 95% of the real estate agents I had met in my industry. And the reason why I say that, I think it's because I was an elite athlete. And I mean, I was literally raised to train and work. And so work ethic, I was like, well, I'm going to use my work ethic and use that in this industry to work really hard and work my way through this. And what do I mean by that? I mean, when an opportunity was given to me at first to work with a pretty large hedge fund, which I didn't even understand publicly trading hedge funds. I didn't understand that world. REITs, I just didn't know, but I knew that I could learn. And if I worked hard enough and I taught myself and knew that I needed to fail and grow, that I could do it. So much so that I think it upset you for almost a good year.
In what way?
Well, I just remember running from property to property. So at that time, I was learning acquisitions. And acquisitions is, in the way that I'm using it, in the context that I'm using it, is to buy properties for buy and hold for my investor clients. And so I would go to a property. I had to learn how to do construction cost rehab estimating. I had to learn how to do BPOs and ARVs and take videos and do all these different things. And I was an accountant, right? I was in finance. So I was like, okay, well, I can create these spreadsheets to analyze this deal. And so that worked with my brain, and that's how my brain works. So I was like, okay, well, if my brain works this way, well, then I can do X, Y, and Z to make it work. But it was a lot of running, and it was a lot of, we'd wrap up some properties under contract. We would lose some, and it was hustle. I mean, 80, 90, 100-hour weeks, no joke, not even exaggerating. And you were like, who are you working for? What are you doing? Why are we working this hard? I'm exhausted. I need a break. Rightly so. Like, I'm not faulting you at that. But there were definitely moments of you questioning, is this even worth it? Mm-hmm. And I think in my brain and in my gut, at the end of the day, I was like, yeah, it's worth it because I'm learning a skill set that in real estate, working with investors is a completely different beast and niche within the real estate world. And so I was like, I need to learn the language. I needed it, whatever. So I knew that I could apply that somewhere down the line.
And prove yourself.
And yes, a lot of proving myself.
Let's face it, like when you get a client that wants to buy anywhere from 6 to 12 houses a month,
right?
Everyone in the room raises their hand and say, yes, please, I'll have another. Right. Like that's a highly desirable. So the requirements are simply, can you make it?
Can you make it happen?
Can you make it happen?
Can you,
And you're constantly being scrutinized for your quality of work. So there was a period of proving yourself. Yeah. It's not like Bethany's our agent, she's got the job forever. It was always in question of, is there someone that you're a commodity. You are treated as valuable as the results that you give.
Right. Yeah. And that was nerve-wracking because in my brain, I couldn't turn it off because I always knew I was needing to prove myself. But I knew that it was just a season. And if I could get through this season of proving myself, then it would all be worth it. Mm-hmm. And so...
as far as me being upset during that time, I was on my way out of the department.
Yeah, you were going through a lot.
And so my plan for a family structure...
went out the window.
...was going to be, we have dinner together every night.
Right.
And that
right.
there's
because we went from going from 2 different jobs, going completely 2 different directions, to not really having family time at all, to, okay, well, this is beautiful and great because now we're doing real estate together, but yet we're not fulfilling the family goals that we had, and that was really frustrating.
Yeah, because I was like, I just got done missing a bunch of events. Like, now that we're working together, we can have a right. slower pace of life. And,
yeah, a lot of people get into real estate
and
thinking,
you were like, no,
sweet dear.
This is and rightfully so, because this was a once in a lifetime opportunity.
It was, yeah,
to change our financial trajectory. Mm-hmm. As soon as you became the preferred agent for all of these different investors, we had incredible financial turnover.
Yeah.
We had incredible being able to wipe out years of student loan debt, yep. credit card debt.
So we put all of the money into all of our debt.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was stuff that hung around us since we got married and after.
Yeah.
Medical bills and stuff like that. Like, we were not the poster child for financial success.
No, not at all.
In any way.
No.
And we needed a bigger shovel.
Yeah.
We needed something to help us clean up this mess, mm-hmm. or we needed a longer time horizon in order to do it.
Yeah.
And so this opportunity shortened that time horizon to get out of debt.
Yeah.
In an exponentially faster way than we ever would have thought possible.
Yeah. Well, when I started working in this niche, it was about a year.
Yeah.
And I believe February 2022, we made a sign with the kids. They were a little too young to fully understand what it meant to be debt-free, but we celebrated that as a family, and we talked to our kids about what that meant, and, still have those pictures. And so that felt like a big win. Right? But not really realizing in 2022 what this was fully coming into fruition. And we're still walking it right now, I would say. We're still in the midst of walking through this door to figure out where it's going to lead us. And so, but I would say 2023 would be the year that you came to me and you're like, well, why aren't we, if you're doing these transactions and you're pretty damn good at it, why aren't we doing this for ourselves? Why aren't we buying investment properties? Why aren't we flipping properties? Why aren't we doing what we're doing for our clients? Because we're just making a commission, which is great, and our bread and butter, and that's how we feed our family. But now what if we have an even bigger shovel, like your illustration you used earlier, and do this for us? And I guess I want to speak to real estate agents in general right now, because again, you get so transactional that you forget about yourself, and it's a mindset shift. And I could do a whole podcast on that alone, about you can serve your clients and you can take care of your family at the same time and build legacy and wealth through real estate. Now, that's only one avenue. There's so many different avenues to do it. But I'm really feeling thankful and blessed that you came to me and you challenged me in my thought process of, hey, babe, like, okay, this thing that you do every day, all day, why aren't we doing that? And so it took some time for me to be like, oh yeah, okay. Because when you're working with your own money, it's scary. I mean, we still wrap up properties and I can't sleep at night, and it makes me nervous, even though I'm really good at knowing a lot of things, you know, and so there's a risk factor there. But when you're dealing with somebody else's money, it's not as scary. I mean, It's still scary because you're helping somebody with one of the most biggest financial decisions of their life. So to speak on that, I think I realized that if I was doing the darn thing, I don't like real estate agents that have never bought a house, that are only renting. Okay, well, if I thought I was this super cool, badass real estate agent for investors, but I wasn't buying my own investment properties, then what am I? Like,
Right.
this is going to help me serve my clients so much better. And I think that's where it finally started to click for me of like, oh, this is going to make me even better at my job. Why don't we do this thing?
Yep. So that you can speak to your client and say, hey, whether it's uncertainty about this being a good decision, whether it's fear, whether it'll plan out the way that you want it to.
Yep.
I've gone through the same thing.
Right.
I know because I've been there. Like, this is my previous experience. This is my money. This is how I made it work. And I'm here to tell you that the model works and you're going to be able to do it. And even if you're not, if something catastrophic happens, we have an exit.
You're protected.
Yeah, we have an exit. I've thought about these things for myself, so I'm here to coach you on how to do it for you. And that is where our best fiduciary responsibility, when we put the needs of our clients to an even greater level of care.
Yeah.
Again,
it goes back to our motto of we're in the business of transformation, not just the transaction. And that's really too actually where that motto started to really come to life, was in this realization. So kudos to you and all of that, because I needed you to push me in that. And so here we are today. We do transactions all day long, but we also buy investment properties and flip them, and we're looking for buy and holds and moving family members into different housing and all the things. And the big one too, though, is realizing that we don't know what housing is going to look like when our kids come of age to need somewhere to live outside of our home. So what does it mean for our children and teaching them generational wealth, and setting them up for success so they're not flailing, I should say, like we were as young, two very young, broke, worked so hard, had no help. We want to set them up for success. And not just set them up financially, but also teach them how to do that. Not just like, oh, here's a pot of gold, go screw it up. No, like, we're teaching them financial, legacy. So then let's
back up.
Yeah,
let's back up. So I remember our first buy and hold rental, and that was before you were completely convinced about moving in the investor space ourselves. Yeah. So it was your parents' property.
Yeah.
So tell me about how we fell into having our first buy and hold.
Yeah. So how we fell into it was, my parents have a beautiful ranch, or had a beautiful 12-acre ranch. And my dad was ill. He had bone cancer at the time. And so our great and big idea was to buy their personal residence to help my father and to live on the land with them in order to help my dad. Because, it's a lot of work. 12 acres, it's just a lot of work, a lot of mowing, a lot of upkeep. It's a 1901 farmhouse, so it's always falling apart. And so we're like, okay, well, how can we have two properties at the same time? How can we afford both mortgages? And so it's not like we got a discount on the farmhouse either. We bought that, and so that it was ours. So we had a mortgage payment on it. It wasn't gifted to us. And so then we had to fulfill the rent of our other house in order to purchase this property. And so after we did that, I was like, oh, well, I do buy and holds all the time. This is literally what that is.
Yeah.
This is a rental. And so that kind of helps spearhead realizing that it can be done, learning the tools and resources, where to get money, how to do that. Everybody's financial situation's different. What are the unique ways to make that work and not financially ruin you? And so, that's how that all started.
Yeah. Well, when we first experienced it, I'll just say it from my perspective, it was so eye-opening to what passive income, or at least more passive income, could be.
It's never really truly passive.
Yeah, never true passive income. You might be able to make a case for like mutual funds and S&P 500.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, when I was working for the Navy, we had incredible amounts of downtime. Like, we did awesome, cool training, like surf torture and dive motivator stuff, and like all of this cool military training. But we had long gaps of time in between training sessions. Like the sailors couldn't get there at the time that the schedule set. So we had downtime. We had to wait for them. They had to eat lunch. We had to do paperwork, all kinds of different stuff. And with these huge gaps in time where I was on the clock, I just had time to think. And I was like, there has to be a way where I can earn money right now when I'm not doing anything. There's nothing for me to do. Like, sit around and wait until it's time to start. And nobody in that environment was like
thinking about that.
Yeah. Like, I asked the guys, I was like, is there anything I can do from my phone? Anything at all?
What can I sell?
What can I do? And there was nothing. But when it came to the rental with your parents, for the first time, we got a check in the mail. Like, we had to fix up the property. We had to make sure that the grass was cut and different things around the house were fixed. But it was coming in without showing up. It was another separation. So the first separation between time and money happened when we both went into real estate full time. That was really cool, but it was also really dangerous, because you could give lots of time and get no money.
Correct.
Or you could give very little time and get lots of money.
Yeah.
So like they were unlinked. It was no longer about an hourly wage. And then again, I was further delinked because I owned something that somebody was using. Right. And so we got paid for that. And that was the first eye-opening experience for me. I was like, hey, we could do some more of this. Yeah. And that was pretty cool. And now, so fast forward to the point where we're now doing, in addition to buy and hold, we're doing fix and flips. Yep. So how did I convince you that we were supposed to start doing fix and flips?
Ooh, good question. I don't know, and you probably know the answer to that. But I think we saw the writing on the wall. Well, I did. I went into, okay, well, I can do fix and flips because I understand rehab costs. Like, that doesn't scare me. And if I bring the right person with me to validate our numbers and issues and inspectors and all of that, I was like, well, I already do all this, and I can make more money within a 90-day period from one transaction than I can from 10. Well, then, yeah, I'm going to do that. And so that's really what made me like realize that we could do this. But I think you probably know the answer to your question maybe better than I do.
Yeah, I don't
remember how I think I was hesitant at first because you were so giddy about just getting a property. Just getting a property. And this is where it switched. You became the visionary in this, and I became the logical one just because I had done so many more transactions than you. I'd seen and been through the fire. And so I'm like, no, we're not going to just wrap up any freaking property. Like, here are the steps that you take. This is why you do or don't. These are the spreadsheets. Like, here we go. This is how you do it properly. Like, don't get so excited about just making a deal. And I still sometimes get frustrated with you by that because we're still learning, you know, what that's like. And that's an ongoing thing because you learn to mitigate risk. There's always going to be risk, right? In so many different aspects of life, and especially real estate. But I want to take the risk. I'm okay with taking the risk, but with certain steps in place. And so you and I, we would fight about it. we would get upset at each other. I just get annoyed and frustrated, and I probably would just shut down and be like, oh my gosh, this guy, he just needs to fix. Not listening. What's gonna happen? And so we had to learn in that world how to become on the same page.
Yep.
And see value in each other's weaknesses and strengths within that aspect of the business, to feed off of each other, to come into alignment of, okay, this is a good one to take. This is, we can be together on this, because if we aren't together, and we've seen this with couples with buying houses, like if the couples are not on the same page, so hard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And there's one phrase and one lesson that I picked up during the first part of moving into fix and flips, was real estate is the only game where you, comparing it to baseball, real estate is the only game where you get unlimited strikes and you can pass everything up. I can say this better, but you can pass everything up and you still get a shot at hitting a grand slam.
Right.
So it was really freeing for me to recognize, is like, if it's not this one, there's going to be another one. And as high production as we are, it's difficult to go and inspect the property, to go see if this is going to make sense, to underwrite it, and to make sure that our numbers and our projections for after repair value works.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, I'll never make a bad decision by not making a decision. Like that, it's a double-edged sword, because if I stay in this point of analysis paralysis, or
and that's a real thing.
Yeah, or don't pull the trigger when I should. Obviously, there is some measure of losing out. But as far as financial catastrophe or anything like that, I will never make a bad decision by not making a decision.
Right.
So being on board with each other is paramount for the way that we do business together.
Yeah.
And so far, we have not made a bad decision together when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah. And I want to say there's really, I'm probably going to contradict myself here, but there's really no bad decision as long as you learn from it and grow. I mean, you can make a financial catastrophe, so I guess that's the bad decision. But I would say everything that has led us up to this point, has the failure even, has made us better and only helped us do what we're doing now. And so it's hard to say, that there's such thing as bad decisions unless a catastrophe is involved. Otherwise, it's just a learning experience.
Yeah. And we manage risk really well. We entertain risk all the time.
Entertain risk. We're probably more risk adverse than a lot of people, though. And I honestly think it's been a blessing to be able to have the mindset of not being risk adverse.
Yeah.
To our family.
We haven't experienced the highest highs of some people that might be in our station.
Oh, yeah.
But we haven't experienced the lowest lows either.
Yeah.
So
really with that, like, wealth isn't just money. It's options, impact, margin, and saying yes to what God is asking of us.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.